Hey, Hosea.
Hey, welcome, Elizabeth. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. I'm ready to rock and roll and get this information out to the people.
Yeah, talk about the do's and don'ts of C&P exams.
Yes. Uh,
C&P exam's a big deal.
and I don't think a lot of people realize how big it is. It's the most important day, if you will, of the process because I
Mhm.
think you're putting everything out there. You're trying to remember what to say. You're trying to remember what to do, how to act, and there's a lot that goes into it.
A lot, and we'll cover all of that. And we're
Yes.
excited to be here to do that for all of you guys today. So, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Um, Give us a shout out. Tell us where you're from, when you served, what branch, all of that. I'll start, and I'm from Kansas City, live in Kansas City still. And yes, I am a Chiefs fan. So don't hold that against me. But yeah, okay. Good morning from Utah, Marcos Martinez. Can't
Yeah.
talk sometimes. Go Army. Yes, Army here too. So thanks for joining us.
A little bit about myself. I'm a Navy veteran. Go Navy. I'm originally from Sugar Land, Texas, which is right outside of Houston. But I currently live in South Dakota, so don't ask me how that happened. Marriage is a compromise. I just keep that in mind every time I think about that. But it's not too bad. It's not too bad over here in South Dakota. I learned the do's and don'ts and the hows and whens, but it's been an experience. We're getting ready to move. I'm
Yeah.
currently getting ready to move from here to Missouri, another small town in Missouri. So
Yay!
it's not too far, but it's like night and day. It's like two different countries,
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that, and we'll be in place hopefully by the end of the summer.
Awesome. Oh gosh, we're getting a
Go Navy, Chip.
chip.
All
Yeah.
right. Houston. Yep,
Mike
yep.
Angerstein from Houston, Texas.
That's right.
Army. Yeah. All
So
right.
George Jones, Las
Las
Vegas.
Vegas. All
So
right. Connie, U.S. Army. Hey, yeah, girl.
mhm,
Awesome.
Naval Station, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. So
Hey,
Ivan,
Ivan.
I spent a stint down in Gitmo, man. I love hated it.
Ron from South Carolina. He was a Marine, Semper Fi, Vietnam era.
Welcome from Paul Warsorski. I'm sorry. Good morning from Denver, Colorado. Denver, Semper Fi.
Rosalia, hey. Women's Army Corps. I see you, Rosalia. Welcome. It's good to see you here.
Joe Brown, what's up, Army? All right. Ooh.
Carlos Cruz, Fort Worth, Texas. Go Army.
So Theodore Castleberry from Yukon, Oklahoma. Where's that near, Theodore? I'm familiar with Oklahoma as well.
David Sims, U.S. Navy veteran. Thank you all for your service.
Yeah. Really appreciate everybody for popping
Yes,
in.
Doug, another Chiefs fan. Hey, Doug.
Mm. Well, just to let you know, I'm not a Texans fan because I'm an
Okay.
original Texan, so I'm a Houston Oilers fan. So,
Okay.
which is to say, I guess that will put me in the Tennessee Titans. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? When you move to Missouri, you're gonna love the Chiefs.
Yeah, no, well, no, I'm more on the Kansas City side, or the Kansas City side. I'm sorry, the St. Louis side.
St.
So
Louis side.
yeah, I'll be 2.5 hours between there and Memphis, a place called Cape Girardeau.
Yeah, I know exactly where that is.
Okay, don't hold that against me.
Excellent. I won't. I won't. Honestly, it's not a bad little town.
Yeah,
Not
I
terrible at
heard.
all. Yeah. All right. Hey, Cam. Robbie Newton, Atlanta, Georgia, Air Force.
Theodore Castleberry, OKC,
All right. Cody Ryan.
and Phil Osgood from U.S.
They're
Air
going
Force.
they're going so fast. I'm like
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, retired Air Force, Linda Menazzi. Sorry.
You're better than I am. I can't.
Yeah,
I'm these pronunciations of these names. I'm sorry. I don't want to butcher your names, guys. So I'm
yeah.
skipping over the stuff that I'm having trouble pronouncing. All
But
right.
I try to give it its due respect, so I try to
Yes,
pronounce it. But if I butcher it, I apologize in advance.
absolutely. Awesome. Oh, so we got
Facebook
Nancy.
user,
Yeah,
Nancy
you
Mulligan.
retired. Cool. USMC,
Daring.
Massachusetts. Awesome. We'll take a couple more minutes to say hey to you guys and give you
Mhm.
some shout outs for where you're from and where you served, and then we'll get started.
Pete Rodriguez from McAllen, Texas.
Go
Go
KC.
Army.
See, you guys know the way to my heart.
Sully, Air Force, North Georgia. Yeah,
Definitely.
we're excited to get this information out to you, but it's don't underplay it. Just take it as it is, but it is quite important. So I just want to make that clear to everyone.
Very important. And we're glad you're here joining us. It's some great information and it's need to know for sure. Edward Lee, I see you, Air Force retired in Hampton, Virginia. Hello.
Freddie Pope, Kabul.
Okay.
All right, got exams coming up. Good luck
All
on
right,
that.
Freddie. Yeah, best of luck. Rob Lowry, U.S. Air Force. Hello.
George Jones. Oh God, thank you for Brian Reese and team for all the education. You're quite welcome, George. They
Top
can
notch. And
and
it's
are
our
be a
pleasure.
life changer. Yes.
Definitely. All right. You want to get started?
Yeah,
Get
let's go
rolling?
ahead and kick it off. Let's go ahead and kick
All
it off.
right. Excellent.
So, what are some important things to note about the C&P? Um, Number one, I think it's important that you get there on time. Number one.
Absolutely.
So if you've never been to the place, because I've been stationed or I've been places where the VA has assigned me I know the area, I know the place. Yeah. So if you haven't been to the area in a while, most recently, or I suggest you take a dry run and go over to wherever the facility is located, because you never know the day you go they have construction on that road, or they have uh, who knows, some type of things going on in the facility. So it's always good to know where the facility is, first off, where it's located, what part of the city, if it's in another city, and how long does it take you to make that commute on a normal basis. Or if you have to go in the morning, you don't know if you're going to run into rush hour or not. So those things are important. And another thing to look at is just appropriately assess how you're dressed. For an example, make sure, and I say dress as if you're going to an interview, because for the most part, you can never tell what a person thinks based on you. You could be going for, whether it be a C&P for tinnitus or a C&P for mental health. Um, you have to know, be aware of what you're doing and what your surroundings are. So um, be aware that wherever you are, that you have to make sure of cameras. You know,
Yes. The
so
last C&P exam I went to was for mental health, and there were trail cams in the trees pointing toward the parking lot. Um, Caught me off guard, but I knew that was a possibility. And I usually tell people to dress as you are. If you're the person that dresses to the nines every day, dress to the nines. If you're the person that wears your sweats because you work on Zoom and you can get away with that, then wear your sweats. Be comfortable.
yeah,
Be who you are. Don't fake it for the sake of making it.
yeah,
But yeah, that the cameras, one of the things about being early too, if you're going for orthopedic reasons, you don't want to run in there and then, oh, my back.
yeah,
That doesn't look
yeah,
good. It's not a
yeah.
good look. So absolutely be early. Be cognizant of your surroundings and note the cameras and stuff. Yeah, and I'll tell you guys a story too. And Hosea, my last exam, I'd been working here, I'd been coaching for a while, so I know these things. I've come to our classes, I listen, I'm learning just as much as our other vets. I went into my C&P exam, all of it went out the window. Totally lost it. So you can be as prepared as possible, and you get in there, and it goes haywire. So a lot of this stuff, keep going over it, because the more you hear this stuff, the more you listen, the easier it's going to be to make it more second nature.
Yeah. So realize that too, if you have to take a mental note or write it down, there's nothing wrong with writing something down for the sakes of memorizing it, because, I hate to ping on or to stick out mental health, but this is a big part of mental health, because memory loss is quite common. So to have memory loss, short-term memory or what have you, to have, information written down, there's nothing wrong with this. That's perfectly okay to have that. So just be aware and just clear your head of everything that's going on around you. That's the biggest important thing. Clear your head and just keep your wits about yourself, because I know that it's overwhelming, and it can be, and there's no amount of information that I can say to make you feel any different sometimes. But you have to just be uncomfortably vulnerable.
Absolutely.
And that's the best way to put it, because you're going to be uncomfortable. And there's no, like I said, there's no amount of information I can put out that's going to change that. And so just be aware of that, and, go in and take control of the interview and take control of the process. So.
And we're all mission oriented. So all of us vets are mission oriented. So think of it as a mission. This mission is twofold. First and foremost is the service connection. Discuss the service connection. Don't discuss other potential causes or other potential, maybe be confident and discuss the service connection. That is the very first part of your mission. The next part of your mission is your symptoms, the severity and the impact it has on your life, not just at home, but at work as well. So twofold mission. If you look at it like that, it's so much easier to remember the details. And being mission focused, that helped me exceedingly. So definitely consider that piece of it. And when you're talking about your symptoms, like Hosea said, write them down. Don't write a narrative and read a novel to the C&P examiner, but have bullet points. Go in, and at the very end, they will ask you, is there anything else that you want to cover that you think is important? Yes, actually, I have some notes I took because I don't remember things well, and I know this is important. I want to get this across, and go over it. There is nothing wrong with that at all. Something else we do is we minimize. So one of our other coaches says, leave the butts in the butt can. When you're talking about your symptoms and their impact, leave it there. Don't continue on and talk about, well, here's my symptom and here's how it impacts me, but this is what I do to overcome it. Or, but so-and-so has it worse. Or, but it's not that bad. Because those are things we tell ourselves. We don't need to tell the C&P examiner that, because to us, we're persevering, we're pushing through, and we're expressing how difficult it is for us just to be normal. And that's with orthopedic conditions, that's with mental health, that's with anything. But to the C&P examiner, they hear, oh, they're fine, they figured it out.
Yep. To also, another thing, one of the do's, make sure when you are in there for the C&P that you don't allow the C&P examiner to manipulate you or manipulate manipulate, i.e. the conversation or your body in a way for, say, range of motion. Mm-hmm. So they cannot do that by law. They cannot touch you. They're not allowed to touch you or assist you, so to speak. So be aware of those types of things, and be aware that if there are some instruments that's required, or most of them aren't required, but if they should be using instruments, then make sure that you ask them to use the instruments that are appropriate for that examination. So just keep like I said, it's enough.
Yep.
Take control of it. Take control of every aspect of the C&P. So
you're just an appointment to them. This is your life. So keep that in mind. Don't feel guilty for taking charge. As far as orthopedic conditions go, stop when you feel discomfort. Can you touch your toes? Yeah, I can touch my toes. I'm going to be miserable for a week, but I can touch my toes. I hear that a lot. Don't do it. Stop when you feel discomfort. Don't continue on to the point where you're going to be miserable. If you have episodes, talk about the episodes and what they're like. You don't have to go in and pretend you're having an episode right now, but have a very good way to articulate those things and tell them, okay, this is what happens when. And don't dismiss that and say, but it doesn't happen all the time, or but when it happens, I can push through and do XYZ. I'm a mom, guys. Like you push through anything.
yeah.
You don't really have a choice.
Yeah.
So we're not going to talk about that at the C&P exam, though. That's not relevant for this conversation with these C&P examiners. And what else for orthopedic stuff? Any instruments that you use. So if you have a knee brace, if you have a cane, if you have a walker, any of that, take it. If you're always putting that KT tape on, use that, wear that, bring it with you.
Yep, you don't want to get out of the, and I've seen this before. You don't want to get out of the vehicle putting on the what you need to put on your neck brace, and you're strapping it on in the parking lot or in the waiting room. I've seen that before. It's like, wow, So yeah, you want to make sure that's what you're supposed to be wearing, and wear it. Because that'll give the impression that he doesn't need it. He obviously doesn't need the neck brace or the knee brace. So what's the point of telling me what is the point of him telling me how bad his knee is hurting, and how bad his neck is hurting? So just be aware and mindful.
Yes, very. What was the other one for the orthopedic stuff? Oh, I have one. Hey, Hosea, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Great.
See? So that's something that we do too. We have cookie cutter answers for when someone asks you, how are you today? So when you go into a C&P exam, don't tell them you're living the dream. Don't tell them everything's great. Tell them, hey, I'm here for this exam. If you're anxious, tell them you're anxious. If you're irritated, tell them you're irritated. Now, don't be rude, but tell them how it really is. This isn't one of those rhetorical questions that they don't really want an answer to. They are documenting what you say. So if you go in and tell them you're great, and then you tell them how hard your life is,
that's not gonna fly, right? Yeah.
No, they're gonna annotate that, and they're gonna use that probably against you.
Yep.
And I let people know too that C&P examiners are paid for by the VA. So I think that people are inherently against veterans? Do I think that these doctors don't want to help out a veteran or anything? No, but I think subconsciously there's a bias because the VA pays them. And I don't know that there's anything necessarily wrong with that or anything you can change about that, but just be aware. So understand that the natural bias is not in your favor for these exams. So you've got to plead your case, and you've got to be able to articulate these things. Now, we have some amazing videos. We have some excellent resources that talk about the symptoms. They help you to understand how to how to speak them. But do your homework for this exam, you guys. It's really important. It's really important to know how to speak your symptoms. I know when I first got out, I didn't even know I was having a C&P exam. No idea what it was. They were like, hey, go here, talk to these doctors. I was like, I don't know what's happening. They start asking me all these personal questions. I'm like, you're a stranger. I don't know who you are. I don't want to talk to you.
You have to get past
Let's
that.
not. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was not prepared at all, had no idea how to articulate my symptoms. And so I got rated accordingly. And it wasn't what I felt it should have been. So
Yeah.
you've got to be able to talk your symptoms 100%.
Yeah. And I love, because that's the most difficult one, is the mental health. And I talk about this often, and that's the biggest conversation I have among veterans. So the biggest part about being open and honest, but like I said, it's a conversation, and I always say it's as if you're talking to yourself or you're talking to a friend. You're not, don't pre, what's the word I'm looking for? Don't
Write a script.
assume. Yeah, exactly. Don't
Okay.
don't assume because each C&P, I've been through 2 C&Ps for mental health, and I've been through another C&P before, but they're all different. And my, for example, for mental health was straightforward. Straightforward. It was straight. Hey, I'm going to ask you some questions. You answer these questions. If you have anything afterwards you want me to know, let me know. Simple as that. The second one was a little bit more, hey, let me ask you these and let me ask you why. And then, I want you to tell me why if I ask you this, and then you give me the why or whatever the case. So each one is going to be different, and or possibly if you have the same, you get lucky. But
Yeah.
it's going to be different. It's going to be some of it is you've heard before. You'll hear other people talk about C&Ps. Oh yeah, I had one like that. I had one like that. But there are going to be some that you have never heard and how they're done. They give you 3 hours for a C&P. The VA typically gives you 3 hours, but I've never had a 3-hour exam, but they can go as long as 3 hours. And I've heard of people saying it stretched them to 3 hours. They were surprised at how long it took.
Gosh,
But
I can't imagine talking for
yeah,
3 hours.
yeah, 3 hours. Yeah, imagine that. So you run out of things to say, you really get lost. You're in the throes of the world at that point. So,
And a 3-hour exam, I think that, you probably tend to go off on some tangents and forget the focus of your mission. So that piece is really, really important. Remember that mission and what you're there to do. It's not treatment. I mean, especially with the mental health piece, it is a way to open up all of those boxes and get them out there so that you can be compensated accurately and rated. But the treatment piece comes in different forms. This is not that. So don't expect to get that from the exam. And I know during my exam, the doctor told me that. He's like, this is not treatment. I'm not going to give you medication. I'm not going to do X, Y, or Z. It's like, okay.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but that's important to remember. So when you're going off on these little side roads and these other journeys, then it detracts from what you're really there for.
Yeah.
That's why it's really important to do that homework.
Yeah. And on that note, diagnosing and treatment, they're not there strictly for that. But oftentimes, especially with mental health, a doctor can change your diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
So be aware that you're going in there you could be going in for PTSD, and they may change your diagnosis to say it's stronger in this area. Maybe you're stronger in major depressive disorder. They may change it. So I mean that can be done, but typically, like you said, it doesn't. They're not there for those reasons.
Right.
The C&P examiners, but it could happen. So and they are doctors, so they're qualified to act as a doctor if they need to.
Right.
So it can never,
And some of the different ones. So I went in for a GERD C&P exam, and talking to the doctor about it all, she was excellent, and she asked great questions, and I had the opportunity to tell her at the end, um, what I felt was relevant and that she missed. And one of the things was talking about esophageal stricture. It's a totally different rating, diagnosis, all of that stuff. But what she did was added it in there. She pulled it from my medical records, told the VA, hey, it's related. And so instead of, a 30% rating for GERD, I have a 50% for the esophageal stricture with GERD.
Wow.
So yeah, and that all just came because I wrote down, okay, talk about this. And I brought it up. She's like, oh, is that in your record? I said, yeah, it's somewhere in there. And she took the time that she was allotted after we talked and used that to do her job and to do the research and pulled that and gave that report. So these doctors do have a job. They do take the time to do that.
Yeah.
Now, does it always go in our favor? No. And there are ways that we can pursue after that, even if they don't go in our favor. So don't let a loss because of a C&P exam that was bad, or even if it was a good C&P exam, you felt good about it and you still had unfavorable results. Don't let that, ruin your day. I tell people all the time, I love decision letters. I love denial letters. They tell me what you need. They're great. We know exactly what we need to do from there. So
and sometimes there's just a mistake. It's just clearly oversight, because it's like, how did they not catch that? They didn't include, the C&Ps or the IMO into the evidence.
And
it's
sometimes
not there,
Yeah. And sometimes the C&P examiner will disagree if you have an IMO with the doctor from that opinion. So those things can be addressed too. But we're getting off on the IMO tangent. So let's get back to C&P, the do's and don'ts.
Yeah. Another thing I thought of real quick was, I just lost my mind here. Go ahead. I'll come back to it.
You're good. I do the same thing. It happens to me all the time.
Yeah. It was
mid-sentence and you just stop.
Yeah. It's very important. What is it? We were talking about diagnosis and things of such.
Oh, if you do, real quick, if you
go ahead.
go in there and start talking about, you're in there for headaches and you start talking about vertigo, then you'll likely have another C&P exam, because the duty to assist, if they start talking about other diagnoses, then they're likely to prompt another exam for another condition.
That was it.
Was it?
That was it. So
you
read my mind. They do have a duty to assist, and I've had that similar to what your situation was, but it wasn't for GERD. It was a condition I had never heard of.
Okay.
Because I'm new to this, and I was just when I filed my claim, it was kind of spray and pray method. When I initially filed my claim, I just did it and I was lucky enough to land 40%. So I don't know how I did it. I couldn't tell you to this day how it was done, but I managed to get that. So they part of it, the C&P of my claim was for a claim that they inferred. They inferred this claim for me because I mentioned it, and it's like, what is this? I don't care what it is. I was service connected for it. It was 30%. So I was service connected, and they will do that often. Well, not often, but it does happen. So it's not the big bad VA. The VA overall, I can't personally say I had a problem with the VA. So I have never had any major gripes with it, but I do understand if you don't have your ducks in a row and if everything is not lined up like it's supposed to be, you're probably not going to get a favorable outcome. Yeah. And there's ways to address that.
Absolutely. And let's talk other documents. So let's say you have gone to the doctor in between the time where you filed your claim and now you're going to your C&P exam. What about documents? Do you recommend taking documents to an appointment, or how do you feel about that?
I think I did take my records with me. That was almost 17 years ago. But I took my records with me because they say this is what people, the rumor mill back in the days. Take your records with you because they might not have it what you have in your record. So chances are, if you're being seen for something, they have documentation for that. But you can't assume that the VA has, everything that they need. So just take it just in case. The chances are they're not going to ask you for the information right there in front. But there's always ways that you can get that to the VA, after the fact.
Yeah. I usually recommend, if you have it with enough time, to upload it, but also take a paper copy with you. They don't have to take it from you. They don't have to look at it. There is a chance that they'll take it and they'll toss it in the garbage or in the shredder, because you're PII. But I would take it. Absolutely. I think the most common question that I get for C&P exams is just, how is this going to go? Because that unknown, especially if it's your first C&P exam, that's a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we all, like you were saying, like, you don't have anything against the VA, but it's the machine. It's the big, scary, thing. And they used to be, they were found as an insurance company, and insurance companies don't like to pay out. So you've got to plead your case. And in doing so, it's important to remember, not to go in there and start off on other tangents, or go in there and be rude and angry to the examiner, because that's not going to get you anywhere.
A lot of people they put a face with the VA oftentimes, and I'm guilty of it myself. It's like, VA, I hate the VA. I don't want to go there.
Right.
But it was founded as an insurance company. A lot of people don't know that, and that's interesting information. But they're overall, I think they're there to help you, by and large, because the VA consists of raters, which are primarily ex-military, and most of the workers there are prior military. So, but not everybody that gets out of the military has good intentions for veterans. So, that's what I think. But it's each VA is different. I've been to VAs. I've heard of horror stories from other VAs, but I have yet to go. I mean, I got lucky. I have yet to go to a VA where I was treated unfairly without any redress. So don't get intimidated by that.
And there's always going to be the human element with your C&P examiners. Not everybody gets along. Not everybody can communicate effectively with everybody else. So you may not have been able to communicate effectively with that particular examiner. And that's something that, if it's the case, call the VA 1-800 number, let them know, this is what happened during my exam. I feel like it was a poor exam, and you have recourse. You can go through and report it. And it doesn't have to be because they were a bad examiner. It could just be because you guys couldn't communicate. And that's not a dig on anyone. It's just how it is.
I've had that. It's funny that you mentioned that. I had a young lady who was talking to me about a C&P examiner that was with a contracting company. I don't know which one, but that doesn't matter. I think she had a language barrier. There was a language barrier between her and the examiner, and the examiner didn't understand quite what she meant, and I found that odd. So it happens because there are foreign doctors throughout the system in the U.S. But not to say that they're less qualified, because they're completely obviously qualified, but there may be a language barrier. There may be some ways of communication that you don't understand. So address those with the VA. Don't just let it blow over and wait till your decision is made. Do all of that stuff beforehand.
Do it immediately. As soon as that exam is over, make that call. Let them know, this is what happened. I did that with the one with the cameras. I was like, there were cameras in the parking lot. I was totally freaked out. But there were other reasons I called too. one of them was that I was in this 6x6 room with no windows and 2 doors, and the doors were all closed. And that was the beginning of my exam. And
Yeah.
I think that's where my brain went, and
Yeah.
I decided this was not going to be a good day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So those things are important, and it's important to call as soon as you leave. Now, don't call when you're angry and start, chewing out the person on the other end of the line, but compose yourself, have, a list of reasons that it wasn't what you thought it should be, and express those to the person on the other end of the phone.
Yeah.
And they'll document it. At the very least, it'll be documented in your file. So if it doesn't go favorably, you have that in your corner as ammo as well.
There's on VA.gov. It's new to me. It's a fairly new site. There's a lot of information on VA.gov as well. So if you don't know something, and if you can't get to your coach, if you're assigned a coach, feel free to go to VA.gov. It's replete with information. You just take time. You have to take time to go through it, and it tells you everything, pretty much you need to do, or how you can find the information. So don't.
Yep. And these doctors, they use DBQs, disability benefit questionnaires from the VA, and you can find those too on VA.gov, all of them. And click the link and you can look at all the questions. It's a ton of medical jargon.
Yes.
So you're probably not going to understand. A layperson is probably not going to understand most of what's on those forms, but you can at least familiarize yourself with them so that you know what kind of questions they will ask.
Exactly.
That's very helpful. All right.
Let me see. Is there anything else we're forgetting that's sticking out? It's probably be as soon as we get off, we'll say, "Oh man, I meant to mention that."
I forgot to talk about that. We do have a Q&A session coming up too, or Q&A portion of this coming up, so we'll be able to answer your questions. Thanks for sticking with us through this. It's been fun. We've probably
got about a good 5 minutes, it looks like.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but I don't know. Just the most common things for like the orthopedic ones are the movements and the motions. We kind of covered that.
Yeah. We went over the mental health, which is the biggest one. I hear it a lot. Prime example, what to expect. The average person doesn't know what to expect, and that's normal because neither do I. Each time I go into a C&P exam, I don't know what to expect, even if I've been through one before, because you don't. It's going to be. You can't worry about that. Don't let that bog you down. Don't worry about what the C&P exam is going to be about. Focus on what you need to do, and you'll be fine for the most part.
We've got Marcos in here. I guess we're starting questions, guys. Sorry to cut you off, Hosea. 10 minutes early. Still had to wait another 20 minutes for my appointment. After he went to see the PA, he asked 5 questions, made his notes, sent you on your way. Didn't make notes of anything that you added. That I would have reported. If it's recent, if you don't have a result yet, absolutely call the 1-800 number and report it. 100%. All right.
George Jones, I just did my sleep study, and I have a obstructive sleep apnea. And I originally got denied for it. Since I'm 100, is it worth appealing it? No. I would say no.
I don't think so.
You're at 100%. You can't possibly get more than 100%. So it wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah. Nope, I wouldn't. Wouldn't touch it. Not with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
All right. Ellen, my husband had a 5-minute C&P exam, still waiting, but seemed awful short. Absolutely call and report that one for sure. And just let them know, like, hey, it felt really short. If you felt like it didn't cover what you needed it to cover, then let them know that as well. But yeah, call and report that for sure.
You know, Ellen, I've on the other hand, I've seen, I've had a client that had a short C&P exam. I think it was like 10 or 15 minutes, but it was favorable. It was very
Mhm.
favorable for her. She had 100% for it. So, could on the
Yep.
other hand, it could be either way. John Olivas, sorry if I butchered the name. My C&P doctor put down things that he never asked and also wrote things that I didn't say. This doctor had a notepad that didn't write down anything. He asked me if my condition was affecting me in everyday activities, and I said yes. He wrote down no, so claim was denied. The problem is the rather. So I know it's just too late at this point, but in hindsight, always that sounded like a slam dunk for a bad C&P.
Mhm.
So I definitely would have reported that. All you can do is go forward in your supplemental claim and correct
Mhm.
those errors that you made.
Yep. And it's always good to go and get an independent medical opinion, so that you can fight fire with fire.
Yep.
Had a great C&P exam for my increase. I was 70% PTSD and thought I should have been rated higher. VA Claims Insider helped me with the increase. Only 1 month it took for 100%. Yes. Oh, it took 5 days to get 100% P&T. Ron, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Awesome.
See, sometimes it goes great. And, sometimes they underrate you. Maybe you didn't articulate what you needed to get it across. And then the next time you had better communication with that doctor. So that's amazing. I
Yeah.
always love those stories. They're my favorite.
Yeah. I
Congratulations.
vicariously lived through a lot of these people. So Clifton Van Gilder, if you ask for a C file after 100% P&T, does that open you back up for review? No. Your C file has nothing to do with your
You're not
your
filing a claim.
yeah. It has nothing. Your C file is typically your personnel file, so to speak. It has nothing to do with that. So no, not at all.
Nope. Oh gosh. Kyle asks, what are the questions that the exam asks? It depends.
Mhm.
Like I said, those DBQs, the disability benefit questionnaires, you can find on va.gov. That will go over the questions that the VA requires the C&P examiner to ask. A lot of times they might ask their own questions. For mental health, they're going to ask you how you are. They're going to ask you about your childhood, about your service. Um, then they're going to start asking you how it's service connected. Well, how does this relate to your service? What happened? Why do you feel like it's this? And then they'll go down the line. Orthopedic stuff, same thing. One thing that we've noticed is that the impact it has on your ability to work is become more and more important, especially for mental health claims. So that's something to have answers prepared for. Be prepared to talk about how it impacts your ability to work. And don't minimize it. Don't be a tough guy or gal and go in and be like, yeah, I push through because that's what I do. I get
Mhm.
it, man. I get it. But don't do it.
Yep.
This is how it impacts me. I miss work X amount of times because of my headaches and I can't get out of bed. Don't add any more.
Blink.
That's
Yep.
it.
Check it at the door. Check the troop at the door. We always say because we're taught this military culture, to soldier on and sailor on and so on, or
Suck it
army.
up, buttercup.
Yeah, suck it up. But that's not always the case. All
Correct.
right, Jesse Moore says 70% PTSD, 69-year-old. Should I try for an increase? Uh,
Jesse, if you've
that
got the symptoms,
yeah.
then definitely do it. I do recommend going and seeing a private doctor to get an independent medical opinion before you do, so that you have someone who's subconsciously biased on your behalf to turn in those documents, and make that request. But you've got to verify, that the symptoms you're experiencing are in line with those 100% symptoms. And if those are keeping you from attaining and holding on to employment, then yes, absolutely.
I say never turn down an increase if you think that exactly if you fit that bill. There's nothing wrong with asking for an increase.
No.
Perfectly. So absolutely.
Good questions.
Thank
Great
you.
questions, guys.
Larry Foy. I just recently went to my C&P exam for tinnitus, and the examiner was nice, and he told me that everything looked good. But she also said that I didn't need a hearing test due to my MOS. Long story short, I was denied and now waiting on my decision letter in the mail. Any idea about that could have gone wrong? What could have gone wrong?
Nice examiner doesn't always mean they're on your side. I think my red flag flew up when they said you don't need a hearing test. That's something that I would request. So once you get the denial letter, I would, file an HLR or a supplemental claim and request to have another C&P exam and to do a hearing test. Well, absolutely.
Yeah. Art Gary Goldman said, brought wife with me as witness to my condition upon return from overseas. Denied her access to the exam and denied claim.
Yeah,
Wow.
they don't have to let anybody in. Now, the exceptions, they will let people in if they're required for assistance to move and stuff like that. But just as a character witness, not a character witness, but a symptom witness or condition witness, then no, they don't have to. Some of them will, but some of them won't. Take a look at that denied claim, though, and look and see what recourse you have. Absolutely.
Jerry Sullivan, who do you call about your C&P exam? So
I'm going to put that in the comments. I'll put that number in there.
Yeah, it's a 1-800 number, 1-800-827-1000. Elizabeth's going to put that in the chat for any and everyone.
Oh, look at there.
There we go. It's right there on the screen.
We got it up.
For anyone. That's the hotline for the VA. Any and every question that you have related to VA C&Ps or even your claim in general, that's the number.
Yep. All right.
All right.
Freddie Pope VA referred to a doctor who diagnosed with fibromyalgia. Now the VA is scheduled for a C&P exam. Yep. So doesn't mean that the diagnosis is what triggered the new C&P exam. So go to that exam, talk about it, understand those symptoms. If you can, pull up that DBQ, that disability benefit questionnaire, and utilize that to know how to answer questions. And also look at the rating schedules. The 38 CFR is an amazing tool so that you can understand where you should be rated based on your symptoms. And fibromyalgia is one of those that it doesn't rate exceptionally high, but if it's not controlled with medication and treatment, then there is a potential for a significant rating. All right.
Facebook user, if you have a 0% rating for a back condition and it's gotten worse, is submitting a new claim with new diagnosis the way to proceed?
If your diagnosis is from a private provider, absolutely include the medical records. File an increase. You're 0% connected. You're already service connected, so file for an increase. And then plead your case at the C&P exam. But definitely include the private medical records. If those records are from the VA, then they already have them. So you just do a statement and file for an increase.
Yeah. On that note, I notice a lot of people look at that and they say, I'm not service connected. And then when they put up their disability summary letter, they are service connected, but at 0. So you are service connected if it doesn't have to have an amount to the number. But if it shows service connected and at 0, you're still service connected. So you can, from then on, file for increases.
And let's talk C&P exams for increases. They ask you how it's getting worse. So you don't have to go in and talk about how they are service connected. You don't have to plead your case for service connection in those. You only have to tell them how it's gotten worse.
Exactly. All right, Ron McDonald. I had to quit work before I got fired because of my migraines. My C&P examiner said there was no link between tinnitus and migraines. Well, oh, go ahead. I'll let you tackle it.
Man, that's rough.
Mhm.
I would absolutely recommend getting an independent medical opinion with a nexus. So the nexus is that link that a doctor provides in their opinion that connects your condition to your other condition. So it will connect your migraine to your tinnitus. Something else you can do is download an app. I use Migraine Buddy. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I just use them. And you can track your migraines, and you can also document in there that the tinnitus is what triggered your migraine. Use that as evidence. You can print out a report afterward, after you've got a month or two of data. Print out that report, submit that as evidence, but you'll probably need a nexus for that, for sure. Thanks, Ron. That's a good one.
And typically, what he said was tinnitus doesn't equate to migraines. Now, that could be true because migraines is chronic. It could equate to headaches. So you may have misworded it. It should have been it equates to headaches. And then you could have played from there, from headaches to migraines, perhaps, in the future. Pernell Mooring. So what if you got tested for sleep apnea and was told you have severe sleep apnea, but you don't have it in the file? Is it worth claiming? For a file? Yeah, I say yes. It's worth claiming, especially if you have it, and no matter when you got it. But it's gonna be. I can say this, Pernell. It's gonna be hard to service connect migraines. That's one of the hardest ones to connect. But it's not impossible. It's a 50-50 chance. So you will need a nexus statement though. You're never gonna win a connection without a nexus statement, especially post service. Anything a sleep apnea post service, it's not gonna win without a nexus statement.
They don't even like approving those if you have a nexus. And
Exactly.
I wanted to come back real quick to Ron. He said he had an IMO with a nexus linking migraines and printed out his Migraine Buddy. So you did all the things that we told you to do. HLR, it's higher level review time. Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you're one of our clients, talk to one of our coaches. If you're not, you can reach out to us and we'll help you to navigate that. But yeah. I love HLRs, man. I'll do those all day. I love telling the VA, you're wrong. But that's just who I am as a person.
Happens.
So
It happens. One of the simplest problems, they get it wrong. They get it wrong sometimes. So it's simple as that. You know. Facebook user, what is a duty to assist? What that VA is supposed to do? So the duty to assist is a policy in place where if let's say you mentioned a condition in the process of another diagnosis. They have a duty to ask. So most of the time they'll ask you, would you like to file a claim for that? Or they would infer that claim and file it themselves, especially if they think they can win it. They would never infer a claim that they can't win. So usually a duty to assist is basically the VA taking it upon themselves to assist you in filing a claim that you otherwise wouldn't have filed properly. That's the best way to put it. My anger stain.
any vets out there that aren't elite members, you need to jump on board. Everything you seek, you'll find here. You'll see how amazing your journey will be. Good plug, Mike. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm speaking as a client and as a coach. This has been such an exceptional community for the veterans that participate with us, for my clients and for my peers. It's pretty wonderful. So yeah. Hey, George Jones says he won his HLR. Yeah. Good
Congratulations, George.
job. Congratulations. That's exciting.
It's if you could get past the waiting period,
Mhm.
yeah, that's reward. That's a reward well worth it because it takes sometimes it takes time. It takes years. Sometimes it could take. Well, I say the days of old it used to take years,
Yeah.
but it takes more than months sometimes.
The average now for a higher level review or a supplemental claim is 124 days.
Yeah,
We've seen them as fast as 9 days, and we've seen them take as long as over 124 days. That's why it's the average. But no, if you have all of your ducks in a row, so to speak, and you reference the proper regulations, then it goes faster
yeah.
for sure. All right. Yeah. Want to talk to one of our coaches? Here's the link for the free 30-minute session. You'll get one of us to chat with you, go over some strategy stuff, and see how we can help. It's absolutely our pleasure to do so, and we'd love to get to know you and what's going on with your claim. So hit us up for sure.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
George Jones. Now, now answer this question: if you're 100% and you got denied secondary sleep apnea, and now they said that you have an obstructive sleep apnea, is it worth filing? They are for if they are
The appeal.
if they are appeal for the okay back pay. Okay, all right.
So that depends. It depends on how long you've been at 100%, and would this take you beyond that point? That's a loaded one. I think we need to get you need to get with a coach offline about that one, because there is a lot more information that we need to make a good solid recommendation for
Yeah,
sure. George, if you don't have a coach, sign up for a strategy session.
yeah.
All right. Awesome. Bonita
Bonita,
Brown.
what does the elite membership offer? All
Girl, you
right.
get one of us.
Yeah.
You get a
Yeah.
coach. You get access to all of our proprietary videos, which is an amazing library full of stuff. We have 3 Zoom classes every weekday. We also have a Women's Wednesday group, which I will be leading today. Shameless plug right there.
Oh,
And you have access to all of this. Like I said, it's a community. We're here to help guide you through this process. We coach, we mentor, we help you to take ownership of your claim, and we help you with the strategy. That's the best piece of it. And we utilize a method that we've dubbed SEAM, strategy, education, and medical evidence. So sign up for one of those free strat sessions. You won't be disappointed. I promise.
and we like you said, we're a community. We're here to shoot shoot the crap, or
You caught yourself. That was good.
yeah, shoot the crap and kick the can around. That's what we're here for. And I would like to think of it as this, but where you can be your best friend.
Ooh, I like this question. Do you ever do a mock C&P to let people have an idea of what to expect? I don't know that we have, but
I
that
don't
could
think
be
that we have.
fun. That could be
Yeah,
fun. I don't know.
it's a good
Um,
idea.
thing that most of us do with our clients is offer a one-on-one C&P prep call. We also have 3 opportunities to do our C&P prep Zoom classes per week. And they're all a little bit different. So we all have the same information, but we all have a little bit different flair and a different way of teaching and a different way of communicating. So something I say might not trigger a response for you, but something Coach Hosea says might, and vice versa. So those classes are really, really excellent. But no, not a traditional mock, like a mock C&P exam.
Yeah,
And I don't know if there are legal issues with that or anything, but
yeah,
no, definitely the one-on-ones are about as close to that as you can get, I'd say.
yeah.
Just to ease your mind about the C&P exams, go in there. I always try to talk to my vets after, at least shoot me a text, let me know how it went, all that fun stuff. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
These are
Awesome.
some good questions, ladies and
I
gentlemen. So,
know. It's been awesome. Hey, John,
yeah.
U.S. Army, 86 to 06. Thank you guys. Thank you all for your service. Thanks for coming in here. Oh, Marvin wanted to know where he can find a list of the questions the mental health examiner is going to ask. Go to va.gov. You can even type in to Google DBQ, Delta Bravo, Quebec, and VA. And it'll take you to the link where you can click on all of the DBQs.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's awesome. Good stuff. Cool. Anybody have any other questions before we round this out and bid you adieu?
Yeah, we're at the top of the hour.
Yeah.
We like to, if there's anything that you didn't get, we always have these sessions once a week, I believe. And so you're welcome to join in anytime.
Okay. Get connected. Brandon says, get connected. The VA won't prove it for you. Very good.
Yep.
All right. Mike Ingram wants to know, after a year, is it too late to submit a higher level review? After a year, it becomes a supplemental review because they won't hear your arguments necessarily after a year. So you still have recourse. You can still file a supplemental review. And actually, it doesn't matter how long it's been. If you've ever filed for anything, it's going to be a supplemental review after the fact.
Correct. Yep.
All right.
Vets, Rosalia. Vets from all branches are part of the VACI. I retired in 1993, and that is the last time I filed. At 70%, but needed more help to maneuver my next VA claim. VACI has shown me where to step and not to set off a landmine. All right, absolutely, Rosalia. Come join us.
Absolutely. Yeah. We have
Well
an
said.
amazing community. Let's see. We do have a couple of more questions in here. Sarah McNary. HLR is almost at a year. Representative told me that they can request medical records as long as they want to. Previous representative told me that they request twice. They should have sent me a letter asking me if I want them to go ahead and make a decision. They have requested the records 5 times so far. Go get the records yourself. I'm not saying that this is what happened, but I have seen it happen to where the VA says, oh, we've requested these records, but when you call them, they're like, we don't have a request. So go get the records yourself. A lot of places you can request them online and they will send you an encrypted email that you can download, and then you can just upload it straight to the VA. I absolutely recommend doing that. But if you're submitting more medical records, okay, never mind. Your HLR is it's almost been a year since you filed your HLR and they're still requesting those records. So yeah, go get the records yourself. Don't wait on them. Yep. We've got lots of questions. All right. C&P exam for GERD and did not include all of your conditions, i.e. sleep apnea. Does that mean they won't approve my claim? It did not include. So your C&P exams, you're not going to have sleep apnea disability benefit questionnaire at the same time as your GI ones. So that doesn't mean they won't approve it. It just means you'll need a separate C&P exam for your sleep apnea. What else do we have in here?
My questions are delayed.
Yeah. C&P questions. I've used a supplemental and been told it's the wrong form. I was adding new information. What's next? So, Yancey, usually when they tell you it is the wrong form, they will direct you which one is the correct form. So, the supplemental form is the 20-0995, and you can find that on va.gov website as well.
Correct.
But verify. You can call that 1-800 number and verify what you need. When in doubt, call them. Call them, harass them, be nice. You catch more flies with honey. right? But call them weekly. When you have an HLR, hey, what do you guys need? What do you need that I can help you with? Don't count on them to go and track down your stuff.
Yeah.
Get it for them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
True words of wisdom. Yeah. Do your work. They're not going to do it for you now. They've gotten very good at those, as opposed to the past, where they won't, instead of denying your claim or just kicking it back, they will tell you what they need to give you 30 days to submit that to add to your claim. So they're very good at that. I've seen that a lot.
Vonda just asked, for a C&P, if you've been given permanent and total rating, can the VA go in and reduce the rating if you apply for an increase? Yes, it does open you up if you apply for an increase. If it's not 100% permanent and total, and you have documented evidence that you should be rated higher, I don't think you're risking a whole lot by filing for an increase. As an example, so if you are permanent and or if you're permanent for, I don't know, let's talk headaches, and they're at 30%, but you have 3 headaches a week that are debilitating, then and you're documenting them, and you still seek treatment, and when you go to the doctor you tell them, yes, I'm still having these headaches, I don't know what's wrong. If you're doing all of those things, then I think that the reward is worth the risk of opening that back up.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
So Jim Tonsing, I'm sorry, at 60% PTSD tinnitus, sent in for percentage based on PTSD, was denied. Am I still able to get help to work on getting an increase? Yeah.
Absolutely, Jim. Yeah, absolutely. Hop on, get a free strategy session, talk to one of our coaches. Yeah. We'll help you out for sure. All right. Should I start with VACI directly after filing my intent to file a claim? Yes, Bonita, you absolutely should. Don't do it. Don't throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. Chat with one of us first, for sure. We'll help you. I said spaghetti.
With colorful words.
Listen, I'm getting better.
That's a better taste. Yeah, that's better than what I would have said,
Well, I'm getting better. I'm learning how to rein that in.
Michael
Mike.
Tuffley is
Good question.
Is PTSD and depression separate claims? No.
Mental health all falls in one.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if you're PTSD or depression or anxiety, it's all mental health related. So the VA would not distinguish, but well, they wouldn't distinguish. They won't entertain filing separately. So they fall under the same umbrella, unfortunately.
Yep, because they rate you for your symptoms based on mental health. And check it out. We've got some information and some great videos that talk about those symptoms. So go check those out. Awesome. I've been waiting for VES to do a records review for my claim. Nothing has happened yet. Should I call VES or the VA to see why it's taking so long? Absolutely, John. Yes. Always call. Do not hesitate. 100%. Doug, 10% for tinnitus, originally 0% for hearing loss. Provided hearing aids. C&P for hearing loss is next week. Thoughts? So this one is not subjective at all. They have a specific guideline for your level of hearing loss that pertains to the rating. So if you're not there, then you won't get rated. I do recommend checking out the 38 CFR and look at the rating schedule for hearing loss to see where you where the thresholds are for what the ratings are. Absolutely. Yeah. Do migraines fall under mental health? No. So migraines can be secondary to mental health, potentially, if that's the case for you, but they are a separate rating. Good questions. You guys are awesome. All right. Had 2 C&P exams, Ricky Sally, last October for TBI and PTSD for aid and attendance, but the VA rater refused to include those 2 C&P into the decision factor. I'm not sure what you're asking. Could you clarify for me, Ricky?
Yeah.
Right.
Because the rater wouldn't be on the rater to include that.
And Jerry asks, with a rating of 80%, how long will it be until it's permanent? Is there any time limit? Jerry, I can't answer that without knowing more. So I really think that you'll get some great information if you sign up and talk to a coach. They'll be able to look through your records and check it out to see. Sorry, I can't answer that better. Currently at 90%, Michael Shepard. With 70% for PTSD, unemployed, and receiving $1,700 a month from retirement, should I get approved?
That's another one.
Sure, yeah.
That's another one I refer to a coach because the way you're wording it, it's not giving enough information, and that would be something that would be exclusive to a coach.
Absolutely. And then Deborah, if denied PTSD, can I start all over and use old and new DBQ, IMO, and buddy letters? So if you're denied, you don't necessarily have to use the old and everything, but I would refer back to them so that your new information is not contradicting the old. Something I don't always recommend is buddy statements for PTSD unless it's verifying that you are somewhere, that you're where you said you were, or that your base was in fact attacked by mortars, or that yes, this raid happened, anything like that. But as far as symptoms go, I generally don't recommend buddy statements. But always refer back to what you submitted originally so that you're not contradicting what you've already said to the VA. Chad Hagan, how hard is it to show somatic symptom disorder? Is it strictly based on an exam with mental health? It is. It's absolutely going to be imperative that you get a nexus. So a doctor drawing that link between the condition and your service connection. Your already service-connected disability, yeah. But it is mental health. It is a mental health claim. So if you're already rated for mental health, somatic symptom disorder is not a separate claim. All right. DBQ, Jenny asks, is the disability benefits questionnaire, and it is available on the va.gov website. You can go there. You can also just Google VA DBQ, Delta Bravo, Quebec. What is an IMO? Linda wants to know. It's an independent medical opinion. And, can we get the phone number up there again? Jenny wants to have that phone number. Thank you so much.
There you are, Jenny.
All right. And then what happens if after your C&P you're referred to x-rays? That's a good thing. That means that they're fulfilling their duty to assist and getting more medical information regarding your claim. So that's a good thing, Travis. All right. Tony, I was only rated at 20% for a total hip replacement. Do you guys think this rating was too low for my condition, and should I appeal the rating? Check out the 38 CFR, Tony, and see what it should be. You should have a higher rating for 6 months to a year. I'm not sure what the actual timeline is, but you should have a higher rating directly following your surgery. And then if it impairs your movement, if you still have impingement in that area and you still have pain with movement and all of that stuff, then it's possible you could go for an increase. But those are things, again, get with us, get a coach on the phone, let them review your files and give you a solid strategy to move forward. All right. Rated at 10% for malaria, only for a year due to the VA says I'm cured. Russ, is this right? I'm not familiar with malaria ratings. You'd have to take a look at the 38 CFR for that one.
Retiring next year, Ted. Retiring next year, what should I do now to prepare for my VA case?
Go to the doctor.
Doctor. That's primary. Document everything. Everything that you plan to claim, just get a document. This is the best time, and the fact that
Yes.
you're thinking of it a year out, good man, because
Yes.
I didn't do that.
Go to the doctor. Go to
Yeah.
the doctor. Go to the doctor. Get a sleep study if you have sleep issues. Get your toenails cut out if you have ingrown toenails. Go to the doctor 100%. That is the best thing you can do. All right. Let's see. What else do we have? We've got lots of questions rolling up. All right. Here's that 30-minute session link again. Jenny, I'm not sure if this is the one you're talking about, but hop on there. You can sign up for a free call. Thank you for getting that up there.
These
What if
are
my personal, sorry, go ahead.
no, these are invaluable. These 30-minute sessions, take advantage of it, because some of the questions we can't answer on here, or you might not be able to get straightforward. If you sit down with a coach, 30 minutes, chances are they'll be able to get you on the right track, and a clear path to success in winning your claim.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, Cam, what if my personal statement in support of my original musculoskeletal claim differed from the information in my service records? I was speaking to my situation in a C&P, and the examiner was asking questions relative to my service record, situation B, HLR supplemental claim denied, although I missed the need for a sound nexus IMO. Just booked a 30-minute call with VACI. Cam, that's where I want you to talk those questions. One, it's a lot for me to read on the fly, and my brain went whoop. So talk to a coach and have their undivided attention, and they'll be able to work through this stuff with you. Absolutely. Awesome.
A lot of people don't know what nexus statements or nexus statement does. What it does is let me put it this way. Anything that you claim or a diagnosis that you have outside of the military, if it's not in your service record, more than likely it's going to need a nexus statement to service connect you. So it service connects your condition to an existing condition, more likely, that you got while in service.
Or directly to your service. You got injured jumping out of a helicopter. Okay. You get a nexus saying, yes, this injury is because, he jumped out of this helicopter 75 times or however many. But yeah, having that link from a doctor to your condition, your service connection, or your service to your condition is imperative. And it's one of the things that they need to approve your claim. All right. Vonda, I recently had total knee replacement, VA approved using my private insurance, and the VA covered it. Still having issues. What's next? Since the VA approved it and you went through them, they should have all of those records. I would file for it. If you're not already rated for your knee at all, then definitely file for it. You might need a nexus. It's a good opportunity to get with a coach also and determine, based on your medical evidence, what you need to continue on and be successful in your claim. Michael wants to know, is there a cost to speak to a coach? No. These strategy sessions are free, and we get paid when you get paid. So if you don't win your claim, then we don't take anything. And if you win your claim and you have a year of back pay, we don't touch your back pay. We do 6 times the amount of your monthly increase. That's a flat rate.
Can't pass up an opportunity like that,
No, absolutely not. And I'm speaking again as a coach and a client. So, and I'm happily paying for my increase.
Yeah.
Because it's worth it. It's an investment in myself and in my family. It's worth it, you guys.
That's it.
All right. Can an addiction to alcohol or drugs be service-connected claim? Usually, addiction and drugs and alcohol abuse are related to mental health. So that's oftentimes a mental health diagnosis. check into that. How do C&P examiners treat secondary claims? Would this be a job for the personal statement to make those connections? That is the job for a private doctor to do an independent medical opinion and give you a nexus. The C&P examiners don't, I haven't seen them. Usually they argue against secondary claims from my experience, even when there's evidence and medical journal articles and all kinds of stuff. So that's why the nexus is so valuable, because they do the research and they put in there when the VA has set a precedent for making those connections before. They document or quote medical journals and things like that, studies that support those links. So yeah, it's a job for a private doctor to do an independent medical opinion with a nexus. Awesome. You guys, we're running a little bit over, which is fine. If you have any more questions, let us know. Let's get that sign up link posted up there again so that they can sign up for strategy session, if you will, sir. And you guys definitely hop on, get with a coach. This is an excellent opportunity to have some of these really specific questions answered in a private format also. So get with one of our coaches. You won't be disappointed, I promise. But yeah, thanks for joining us today. Oh, we really appreciate it. Yeah.
We thoroughly enjoyed everyone, and thank you for sharing your personal lives. Some of you have put some stuff in the information that's on a live chat. So we appreciate that, and be uncomfortably vulnerable.
Absolutely. All right. I think we're going to cut you off for today, but hop on there, please. Definitely sign up, book an appointment, give you a couple more seconds to do that. And then we will say our goodbyes and join us. I hope to see you. If you sign up, we can see you in our Zoom classes too, all the time.
Sure.
All right. Thanks for chatting with me, Hosea, today. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, always, anytime, Elizabeth.
Good deal. All right, y'all. Thanks.